There's a new plan that's about to go into effect for the U.S. government for foreign nationals that are trying to come into the U.S. From countries around the world where we have sort of visa waiver programs. Basically, the states like in Europe, for instance, where we have a little bit of an easier path for people to come into the U.S. And what they want to do now is start to gather information on those people's social media activity. Now, they're saying that it's optional, but we know where that can go after a little bit, after you give that sort of power to the government. And a lot of privacy advocates are worried about where this could potentially end, including privacy advocates at the UN who've sent letters trying to stop them from putting this program into effect. Now, some limitations have been put onto the program in the past 6 months of debate, but we are very close to it actually going into effect now. So the U.S. Customs and Border Protection wants to start collecting information associated with your online presence, including your provider/platform and social media identifier, which for a lot of people is going to mean your Twitter handle in particular. They can try to get information from your Facebook, but a lot of people thankfully have wised up and made that private. Twitter, on the other hand, a lot of people have information accessible on that. But there are a lot of concerns, including that it appears that even if a friend or associate has not directly interacted with the applicant on social media, the agency will ferret out connections from the person applying to people who can be 1 or 2 steps removed from them on social media. This is what's called contact chaining or 2-hop analysis, where they don't just look into you, and they don't even theoretically just look into your contacts, they look into your contacts for anything that could be suspicious. And if a follower of an applicant raises a red flag for the agency, the applicant may be denied permission to travel to the U.S.
Well, I'm definitely against it, because if they look into my contacts, they're going to find Jimmy Dore.
And if they look at my contacts, I'm going to tell them I wear glasses.
And you guys are all screwed, because you've got me as a contact, and I've got family members who are Muslim. You're all banned from the country. You're done, especially under Trump. So look,
I don't follow you. So.
That's right. It's smart. Yeah. Smart thinking. Yeah. So look, problem number one, let me break it down this way. Look, I get why the people who are trying to fight terrorists want this, right? Because it's not incorrect that sometimes that people will leave clues on social media. Because people who do crimes, whether it's terrorism or bank robbery, are usually knuckleheads. So, you know, we've done the stories, the guys who go on Facebook after they rob someone, and they're like, hey, this is Bob's money, right? And then they get caught. And then we've seen sometimes, I think with the San Bernardino shooters, that they had left some notes on social media. Yeah. So it's not like there's no value in that. I understand it. Now, it's incumbent upon someone to weigh things out, though, because there's also a great disadvantage. The disadvantage is, okay, now it's a obvious gross violation of privacy that everyone entering the country, all right, give me all your social media. Not only do I want to know everything you've tweeted, everything you put on Facebook, every little nook and cranny of your life, but then I'm going to get into the people you know, and maybe you barely know. You remember the guy from high school that you think you remember, and that you friended on Facebook, but you're not even positive, and he does something wrong? How am I responsible for that guy?
Just think about it this way in the most simplest terms. I'm sure we all do. Like, I follow some conservatives to see what they're saying, right?
That's right.
So imagine if you're from somewhere else in the world and you follow a couple of perhaps even fanatics because you want to see what they're saying and how people are responding to it because you want to be up on the news. And it's literally nothing more than that.
Yeah. But you just gave me an upside to this law. That if they ever come for me, they will accidentally arrest all of our trolls.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Who are our #1 followers.
Totally. That's right, yeah.
So let me expand the conversation a little bit, because obviously the core of the idea why they say they're doing it is to stop terrorists from entering the country, and obviously we don't want terrorists to enter the country. But we also know that when you give the government an avenue to gather information, it can go a lot farther than its initial parameters. So I'm going to jump ahead. I apologize to those in the control room. This is from the Electric Frontier Foundation, which is a group that worries about both privacy and civil liberty.
I have all their albums. Go on.
They're great, yeah. Social media handles can easily lead the government to information about a traveler's political leanings, true, but also religious affiliations, reading habits, purchase histories, dating preferences, sexual orientation, among other things. Moreover, given the highly networked nature of social media, the government would also learn such personal details about travelers' family members, friends, professional colleagues, and other innocent associates, many of whom may be U.S. citizens and or residents with constitutional and statutory rights. Because if you're entering from another country into the U.S., you might well know some people in the U.S. And now the government has the directive to go in and find out about those people. And what have you posted on your Facebook and on your Twitter and maybe on your wish list on Amazon and all of that? Yeah. Maybe on Reddit, maybe on 4chan. We could reconstruct who you are as a person down to the cellular level based on some people's social media activity.
Yeah, I have this feeling that this is an unstoppable reality. That, you know, as we live in this, again, as we put ourselves out there in social media to the extent that we do, especially for people outside the country without the same rights inside the country that we do, that the government is just tracking it all the time. And that I don't know how we go about.
Well, so that's what I was going to say, though. You need someone in charge to say, no, we are not going to do that. Yeah. I'm weighing these two things. I understand the value of the people who are tracking the bad guys, and I understand the downside of the gross privacy violations, and I say no in the balance. And if someone doesn't draw the line like that, yes, they will encroach into our privacy more and more until they know every single thing about us. And there we are, a frog in slowly boiling water with our rights and our privacy taken from us by Big Brother. That's how Big Brother happens.
It already happened, right? Did it already happen?
Yeah, we had this fight all last decade.
We live in a surveillance state already. So is this, now Johnny, let me ask you, this is just for people, foreigners coming in, or anybody who leaves the country and comes back in?
So right now, this is specifically for people coming in from countries that have visa waiver programs, like predominantly in Europe. Those foreign nationals trying to come in and visit the U.S.
Oh, okay. So not citizens.
Not yet, but again, by going to those people's networks, if you do the two-hop thing, you can vacuum up a whole lot of citizens in that.
And Jimmy, keep in mind, those are some dangerous Europeans we're talking about.
Yeah, the bad hombres.
Yeah. You know who makes independent media possible? You guys. Because of you, we can actually do this show free of any outside influence. That's what makes us so strong. Become a member today. tytnetwork.com/join. You are the media.